Hey guys, today I'm going to cover 10 of my favourite physics experiments or demonstrations. We've got some of the well-known classics and some underrated ones that hopefully you haven't actually seen before. And I'm only giving myself 1 minute to explain each experiment, so let's just jump into it. So starting off with a classic, we've got the Reuben Tube. It's essentially a metal tube with a load of holes in it, and you connect it to a gas valve so you get loads of these flames coming out the top. And there's actually a speaker connected at one end, right next to a diaphragm, which vibrates as the sound's played. And if we play certain frequencies through the tube, we can actually create a standing wave. This wave is essentially areas of different pressures going along the tube. So where you've got areas of high pressure, you'll see the flames shooting out much higher, and lower pressure areas, the flame will be much smaller. So this is a very cool way of visualizing standing waves. And you can see that as the frequency increases, we're creating more nodes along the tube. Next up, we've got these cool little wireless LEDs. They've got a tiny little coil on them, and they're powered by this induction loop. It's the same technology behind all those wireless phone chargers, but I just think there's something really cool about seeing it applied to these tiny little LEDs. I think there must be some cool project you could do with it, maybe casting it inside a resin dice or something and rolling it on a table that has a hidden induction coil underneath so it glows. Let me know if you've got any ideas for them down below. Experiment number 3 is reaching the triple point of water. This is something I saw on YouTube like 10 years ago, and I've always wanted to do it myself, but until recently I didn't have access to a decent vacuum pump. But anyway, the triple point is the point on the phase diagram where all 3 phases of water meet. So if you can get water to that temperature and pressure, it'll exist as a solid, liquid and a gas all at the same time. And you can see we've reached it here because we've got liquid water, but it's also freezing and boiling at the same time. So for number 4, we've got microwaving thermal paper. This isn't a very common experiment, but I think I saw it in a Veritasium video a couple years ago about microwaving grapes. And it can be a cool way of visualizing standing waves inside a microwave, i.e. those hotspots where your food's cooked a lot more than the rest of it. I tried just wetting the receipt paper, but I found that it dried out too quickly, so I found putting a damp towel over the top of it actually works better. And if you get a really clear image, you can actually use a ruler to work out the frequency of the microwaves that cause the standing wave. So in number 5, we've got a ripple tank. This is just a shallow tank of water with a light underneath, and it's used to visualize waves. This is quite a cool little one with a motor and a strobe light built in. So if we can get the strobe frequency to match the vibration frequency, then we can effectively stop time, which can make it much easier to visualize the patterns in the waves. And we can use this to visualize interference patterns and lots of other interesting things. Number 6 is a classic, cloud chambers. This footage is from when I made one in my radioactive cocktail video. And you see these little trails shooting out? They're actually caused by alpha particles being emitted by this piece of radioactive fiestaware. Because the area around it has been cooled to about -70°C using dry ice. And the tiny droplets that you can see are a supersaturated layer of pure ethanol. I love cloud chambers. They're a super low-tech way of visualizing nuclear radiation. Number 7, we've got induction braking. This one looks weird no matter how many times you've seen it. So to clarify, we've got this strong neodymium magnet here and a big plate of copper, and copper's not magnetic. But if we swing the pendulum, you can see that it stops at the last second. And if we zoom in, you can actually see that it stops before it even hits the copper. And this is due to electromagnetic induction. I don't have a lot of time to explain. Basically, Lenz's law, moving magnetic field induces eddy currents in the copper, which oppose the motion of the magnet, so it stops. I'm sure someone in the comments can write a fuller explanation if you're interested. So number 8, we've got a refractive index experiment. This is quite a simple experiment compared to some of the others, but it's still quite impressive if it's done properly. So if you haven't seen it before, glycerine and Pyrex glass have pretty similar refractive indexes, which means that when light goes from one material into the other, it doesn't bend much. And so because they're both clear materials, it's quite hard for us to see the interface between them. And if you're saying, I can still sort of see that test tube, did you notice these two test tubes that are in the jug the whole time? Next up, we've got an experiment called the Cartesian Diver. It's a demonstration of buoyancy and pressure. So in this bottle full of tap water, we've got a pipette full of air, and that's representing our diver and his lungs. Now if I lightly squeeze the bottle to increase the pressure, you can see that the air compresses and the diver sinks because it's displacing less water. But now we've got a bottle full of salt water and another pipette inside. And you can see that even if I squeeze quite hard and we compress the air into a small space, it doesn't sink because salt water is much denser, i.e. you're much more buoyant in salt water. If I press even harder, then we can eventually get the air compressed enough that the diver does sink. And finally, at number 10, we have the photoelectric effect. Anyone who studied physics at pretty much any level will have heard of this effect, but have you ever seen it demonstrated with this nifty old device called a gold leaf electroscope? Because until recently, I'd never heard of one, but it's basically a small piece of gold leaf inside this protected chamber. And if we apply a static charge, you can see the gold leaf is now repelled from the metal rod. So we've basically given it an excess of electrons, and if we shine this UV light on this zinc plate here, the UV photons have enough energy to overcome the work function of the zinc and release the electrons. And so you can see that slowly the gold leaf is falling as the amount of excess electrons is reduced. And if we recharge the plate with static, we can see that visible light photons from this torch don't have enough energy to overcome the work function, and so the gold leaf remains repelled and doesn't move down at all. So there we have it, 10 experiments in 10 minutes. Hopefully I did okay on time. These 10 demos were too small for me to make a video out of each of them, so I thought I'd try and put more together. Hopefully it was interesting. Thanks for watching. Bye.